This summer, the whole world watched a 23-year-old run a World Cup final like he was playing in his garden. Calm, untouchable, a world champion. And almost nobody watching remembered that 3 years ago, the word people used about him was broken. Fewer still remember the winter afternoon, years before, when a skinny 15-year-old stood on a freezing training pitch in Madrid, waiting for a chance that never came. This is the story of Pedri, the boy Real Madrid left in the snow, and what it cost them. Pedro González López was born in 2002 in Tegueste, a small town on the island of Tenerife, 1,000 miles from the Spanish mainland. His family ran a small bar. The football came from his grandfather, who had helped run the local club, and from a courtyard where Pedri and his older brother Fer kicked a ball against the wall for hours, both dreaming of the same impossible thing. He learned the game at the tiny clubs of his island, pitches with more wind than grass, where nobody was watching and it did not matter. Because he was not playing for scouts, he was playing because stopping never occurred to him. Island football is its own world. Fewer scouts, fewer academies, fewer ways out. If you are born in Madrid or Barcelona, the biggest clubs in the world are watching your school games. If you are born on Tenerife, you have to make so much noise the mainland hears you across the ocean. And the noise Pedri made was strange and quiet. He did not run fast or shoot hard. He just always had time. Watch him receive a ball surrounded by 3 players, and somehow the crowd around him becomes space. Coaches on the island talked about him like a rumor. At 15, the noise reached Madrid. Real Madrid, the biggest club on earth, invited him for a trial. He traveled from his island to a freezing Spanish winter, and it snowed so hard he could barely train. Within the week, they sent him home. The verdict, as he tells it himself, he was not the level they wanted. He has said since that between the snow and the nerves, he barely got to show anything at all. The biggest club in the world judged a 15-year-old on a trial the weather ruined, and nobody there thought twice about it. So the island kept him a little longer. At 16, he made his debut for Las Palmas in the Spanish second division, a child conducting grown men. And this time, the mainland heard him properly. Barcelona moved first, and paid €5 million for a 16-year-old most of Spain had never watched. It may be the greatest bargain in the modern history of the sport. He arrived at a Barcelona in chaos, a club drowning in debt and losing Messi. Nobody planned to build around a teenager from the 4th tier of Spanish football's attention. He simply left them no choice. By his first season's end, an 18-year-old was running the midfield of one of the biggest clubs in the world. Then came the summer that made him, and nearly unmade him. At the European Championship, at 18, he was named the best young player of the tournament, playing with a composure that had grown men twice his age chasing shadows. In the semi-final against Italy, one of the great midfield performances of the century happened, and it came from a teenager. 66 passes attempted, 65 completed, in a match against the eventual champions. Spain fell in love. So did everyone else. His coaches, older men who do not say such things lightly, kept reaching for the same comparison. Iniesta. From there, straight to the Olympics in Tokyo and a silver medal. No rest, no break. By the time the year closed, Pedri had played 73 matches in a single season, more than 4,000 minutes, in a body that was still, medically speaking, a teenager's. The awards rolled in. The Golden Boy Award as Europe's best young player. The Copa Trophy as the best in the world under 21. He was the future of Spanish football, arriving ahead of schedule. And the bill for those 73 games was already in the post. It started with a hamstring in September of 2021, 3 weeks out. He came back, and 3 days later, the same muscle tore again, in almost exactly the same place. That is not bad luck. That is a body sending a message. For 3 seasons, the message kept coming. Tear, rehab, return, tear. The same thigh, over and over, like a scratched record. The kid who never stopped playing now watched football from treatment tables, and a cruel new word attached itself to the most gifted midfielder of his generation. Fragile. Made of glass. The cruelest cut came at the Euros of 2024. 5 minutes into the quarter-final, Toni Kroos, in the final tournament of his own career, crashed through Pedri's knee. His tournament ended on the spot. Spain went on and won the whole thing, celebrating a triumph he had helped build, and could not stand on the pitch to finish. Here is the part nobody saw. Under a new manager who preached patience, he rebuilt everything: the training, the recovery, the food, the sleep, the minutes. He stopped being a boy who played every game and became a professional who protected the machine. It is the least glamorous work in football, and it saved him. Because when the body finally held, the football that came out of him was worth the wait. A nearly full season. A league title in Spain, with Pedri pulling the strings. 8 assists, the passes between the lines, the pause, the turn. The game slowed down to his speed. The best midfielder in the world conversation had a new name in it. And the Ballon d'Or lists that autumn agreed. And the beautiful part is how he does it. Football keeps getting faster, and Pedri keeps refusing to hurry. The little pause before the pass. The shoulder drop that sends a press the wrong way. The turn out of a corner that should not exist. He plays the sport at walking pace and somehow arrives first. And then, this summer, the stage his story had been building toward. A World Cup on a continent away from home. With Spain carrying the weight of a golden generation. In the middle of everything, conducting it all, the kid from Tegest. Spain, champions of the world. Pedri, 23. A World Cup winner, the engine of the best team on the planet. The boy who was too broken to trust became the player nobody could take the ball from. The doubt did not survive contact with him. He was asked once about that trial in Madrid. About the club that looked at him in the snow and said no. His answer had no anger in it at all. He thanked them. Because everything he became somewhere else, somewhere that believed a small kid from an island could run world football. Somewhere in Madrid there is a report, filed away in a drawer, that says a 15-year-old called Pedro González López was not the level required. Real Madrid left him in the snow. He walked off that pitch, went home to his island, and became a world champion. And the next time they saw him up close, he was wearing Barcelona colours. Slowing their own midfield down to his speed. Some rejections build the exact player they doubted. If this story stayed with you, subscribe to Beyond the Boots for more. The boots tell the story. We just follow the footsteps.